So, it has been such an eventful day indeed, has it? Here we go again. Hi guys, it's Amethyst. Sorry for the obvious awkwardness. Still not used to this, but here I am. I honestly do not know how to really make videos like this. I know the last video where I was just talking, that was quite recent. I was pretty much just, ranting. And now that I have a new computer, I kind of want to experiment with different editing styles. And I know this video is going to take me quite a bit to make. So if you guys have any tips on how to improve any of my videos, you can put a comment down below. Anything. It would really help me out. So yeah. So, in today's video, kind of want to talk about something that I saw earlier at the time of this recording. I was just in the car while my little two sisters were just out. Like, we were just out on the road. And I happened to go on Twitter and see, quite some backlash going on. Well, it has been going on, but I kind of recently saw a tweet from I think the Ooblets Twitter. I kind of follow them because I found out about their game and I was like so excited. It looked so cute and it was awesome, and seeing at the time I was kind of bored with the current games I had, and seeing that this game was in the works, I was like, oh my god, this looks so cute, I have to have it. So yeah, that ended up me following them and pretty much interested in what they tweet and post out. I really found it interesting, especially since, well, I kind of have this dream of making a video game one day too, and it kind of just gives me inspiration, especially since how simple and, I don't know, cute the game is. Oh my god. But yeah, I just recently just went on their Twitter and I saw, I kind of read it, and I read the little link that they put in it, and I was kind of quite surprised that this current situation has been going on. I mean, now that I've dived more into it, I kind of feel a little bit more, disappointed. And yeah, I don't really know how to go about this. So I went on YouTube after I came home, and I kind of just saw that there is more things onto it. Not a lot of videos, just what's up right now, and seeing more and not closer inspection upon it. It seems like more things started to unfold. Not completely. I don't know everything about the situation, but I kind of know enough to really put my 2 cents into it and just let out a big ol' sigh. So I'm not going to explain in depth of what the situation was going on. There seems to be enough information going around. I'll link the video that I watched and the tweet that I saw in the description of this video if you want to check them out. But basically, something about this Epic Games company. To my knowledge, it seems like it's another platform for where games can be bought, but people don't necessarily like that platform. I'm not really sure why. I haven't even heard of it until this situation seemed to have found its way into my Twitter feed. I mean, I guess the company's kind of greedy or maybe bad. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not really sure the whole thing about it. I haven't really heard about it. Not much talk about it really. So it's kind of quite surprising to me. I mean, I know when the Ooblets team sent out emails stating about it, when I first saw it, I kind of just, glanced over the email. Sorry. But I just only saw the name, the company once, and I was like, Epic Games? Oh, are they putting a store in their game or something. What? Clearly that's not the case, obviously, in my snaily brain. But when I found out about this situation, I kind of realized what Epic Games was. And I don't really believe that this, situation here going on should have really happened in the first place. And it's both the fault of the fans, random people, and the developers themselves. To my knowledge, it seems like there was a lack of communication between the two. It seems like the developers didn't really or maybe ask questions or ask for feedback about platform that they want to put their game on. And it seems like a good portion of the people who were upset about this has resorted to various levels of harassment, which is by any means just so wrong. And it kind of makes me a little bit upset, because especially with the recent shootings that has been going on, it seems like now there's just, since pretty much this year, I just noticed that there is this increased level of violence, both physical and verbal. And now it's starting to really worry me. Well, it has been pretty worrying to a lot of people, but I feel a little bit more on edge, considering that despite when these things, multiple things of these happen, nothing has really been done to really enforce certain things. And I feel like it starts with the media, not just social media like Twitter, but also the news. And it kind of gets me thinking that there's just this level of false information, miscommunication, just things going around that really can anger a lot of people. And as indie developers, and small ones in fact, I would understand if you two are shy. Believe me, I am a shy person as well, and communicating is not my strong suit. But if you're going to make a game, it's really important that you communicate really well with your fans and your supporters. Communication in every situation is pretty key, and effective communication is going to make situations be solved quicker or just less headache, pretty much. Establishing a good communication with your fan base builds trust, and it obviously makes things a lot easier. Take other examples of big video game companies. I'm just going to throw out an example. Nexon, I'm pretty sure you guys heard of MapleStory 2, and I used to play that game pretty much a lot. A lot of people have. But like with everyone else, I have decided to quit that game, mainly because it just became unreasonably grindy, and it seems like Nexon hasn't really taken it upon themselves to really fix the problems. So pretty much that game has kind of died. I would understand if the Ooblets team didn't exactly want to announce their plans like that. However, if you want a solution to this will just be to ask the general question, if you're not unsure of something or just want feedback, you can always ask your supporters, like make a poll, ask some questions. You don't necessarily have to spill out every single detail, especially if you want to keep some things as a surprise. But if you really have to be really careful and plan things really, really carefully when it comes to making certain decisions about your games. If you have to balance out if certain things are going to benefit you or your fan base, or ultimately both. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of games where they have their fan base's best interest in mind. I can already think of one already. But yeah, it's really important to have good communication and to really think about your fan base. I mean, because not everyone is going to be able to access your game if you were to put it on a platform where not everyone can access to. And from what I'm guessing, it seems a lot of people seem to use Steam. I mean, if you still want to get the benefits of using Epic Games, why not have both games? Why not have why not have it on both platforms? Like, maybe if that's possible, have it on both Epic Games and Steam. I mean, why not have it on Steam? I mean, you put that game on there in the first place. I mean, look at it. It's like, what? I mean, there are some some softwares that have that are both on the original website or on a different third-party platform. Like Blender, it's on the Blender website, and you can also get it on Steam. I think the game Staxel, if any of you guys heard about it, I think at one point I saw it on their website and on Steam as well. I'm pretty sure most of my games pretty much come from Steam. I mean, besides from some games that I pirated because either I can't afford or they're not available, but I kind of got pirated them anyway, because why not? But there was only one game that's not pirated, and I didn't get from Steam. Minecraft. So yeah, that's pretty much the only game. But if you want your game to receive a lot of recognition and to have a lot of people play it, you have to put it on a platform where everyone can access and everyone will be happy getting it from. Because if you're just going to put it on a platform that pretty much doesn't really function well or creates a lot of problems for your fan base, you're gonna run into a lot of problems, and it's a pretty big deal, and that will become a pretty big deal. So you have to take that into consideration. Another thing too, if a lot of your fans are pretty upset about this certain company, that pretty much means that they know something, that they know that company is bad news. It's really important, especially if you're small indie developers, that you do your research on certain companies. I mean, some of them are just don't really care about anything else but the money, or just to have a lot of games and content out there without really taking the quality or their fan base's ideas and feedback into consideration. I mean, worst case scenario, they actually start to take advantage of the situation and start making the game or making the experience like crap, or they suddenly become interested in your game and want to buy it off, and slowly but surely they start turning the game like crap. Microsoft. So you have to really, really, really be careful. The internet, the media, things like that, they can just throw lemons in your face and take advantage of you. So it's really important that you be very cautious, especially if you're making a game from scratch. You want to present the game with your vision, with your style, and if you really, really, really want to have that game in your vision, you're going to have to take charge and set certain boundaries and make sure that no one influences you in changing the image. And back with communication wise, I really think the way that the indie developers of Ooblets really didn't handle the situation correctly. I mean, they were kind of like me, just sitting in a rock. They didn't really know any better, and this is pretty new to them. However, you should always take in every possibility, because you never know. Sooner or later, you might be overwhelmed with a whole bunch of an angry mob of gamers or critics, and you may not be able to handle it. One thing to do is just to, number one, just stay calm, and number two, don't try to joke with them. Don't try to create comments that just might escalate that might escalate the situation, especially since some more often than not, those angry individuals might actually get pretty aggressive, as seen in the Twitter, in the posts that that thing that they said in Twitter. Like, there were some very interesting comments that some people sent, and it's really disgusting and saddening that these people would go out of their way to just waste their time, especially to just send some mean and hurtful comments when all they can just simply do is just ignore it and just decide not to buy the game. If it makes them mad that much, why not just find something that they think was worth playing or worth putting my time to? And that's what I'm gonna dive into today. Dive into. On the fanbase side of the situation, I noticed, I think it's pretty much half and half. Though really, I think the problem is that the developers kind of just don't really know how to handle this much of criticism and just comments all at once. And it's pretty understandable. But keep in mind to keep your head intact. Please don't explode and create more of a unwanted situation. It's really important to just stay calm and exhibit it, just express good communication. But for those dinguses who just want to waste their time, fuck you piece of shit. There's no one cares about your complaining and your babyish replies, because at the end of the day, Ooblets, whether you like it or not, will still end up probably being a game that many will love. And if you really don't like something about a game, number one, you can just deal with it. Or number two, you can just not play the game and find a game that you think is worth playing. Like, for example, MapleStory 2. A lot of people found it entertaining at first, but over a while, a large amount of people started to quit because I realized the flaws of the game, and the company Nexon didn't really want to bother fixing them. And still to this day, I see that there's still problems with it. I was thinking about re-downloading it just to have something to do, but I realized it's not worth it because I'll just end up leaving the game again. And since that time, I haven't been on MapleStory. I found other games that I really liked to enjoy. Though I am happy that with MapleStory, I was able to make a few friends. It really isn't worth it diving back into, especially since I'm just going to get bored again. And I thought that this was something that gamers would do, Sure, maybe a few comments here and there might be a little bit exaggerated and hateful, but overall, when I see things like this happen, I would never expect to see a wave of comments just full of hate and discrimination, racism, and all those things like that. I thought that when things like this happen, it just go in a cycle, and sure, maybe there would be some memes about it, stuff like that, but I wouldn't see such level of hate. It's actually quite saddening, especially given with the current news. What's on the current news right now? It just really makes me wonder, what are we actually doing as a community to lessen the amount of hate in situations that happens? I mean, as a gaming community especially, I feel quite disappointed because it's just a game. I mean, of course, we find pretty much entertainment from it, and some of us even have careers about it, but simply there's just so many variety of games we can choose from. If one game doesn't really satisfy you, you can just go on another game hunt. And you don't necessarily have to buy the game to really determine if it's good or not. You can just look from other sources like credits, or maybe if you don't care of being spoiled with the game or not, you can just simply watch Let's Players and see their comments on it. I mean, it's not really anything to get so mad about. and to I get so mad to the point where you have to harass the developers themselves. I mean, I'm bringing up Makeable Story 2 again. Like, just because Nexon just fails to really improve their game, that doesn't really give anyone the excuse to go directly at them to harass them. Sure, there may be a few ridiculous dingus comments here and there, but it's not like the whole community is doing it. Because it doesn't make sense. It's not going to solve the problem. So why does everyone in the situation think it's okay? Well, I know it's not everyone, but why does a large majority of individuals think it's okay to just harass other beings? I mean, especially since it's the internet, it's just so easy to just type in and just hide behind the computer and not worry about how your words affect people. But words can really affect people a lot. Coming from experience, it can be really damaging to an individual. And I think what communities fail to understand is that words have power, and especially with certain influences on the internet, it's like they either don't talk about it a lot, or don't really give a light, or make out how important it is, or they just simply either display this type of negative behavior. I could get an obvious example, and I'm on Twitter, and I'm sure everyone would know what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about. But yeah, at this point, I am pretty much disappointed that it's gone to the point where I'm just kind of saddened that, especially on both sides, there's just this failure of proper communication, especially between developers of a game and the fan base. And I mean, for me, this is pretty much the second time where drama involving an indie developer and a fan involving an indie developer has come to surface on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure it's not the last, but I'm pretty sure I can tell you that it has to do with something with communication, pretty much. With many drama situations, there's probably always an issue of communication, and I feel like we as a community need to do a lot better with that. And maybe just not us as a community, but really the whole freaking earth. We really need to do a better job with communication. I mean, if we don't learn how to communicate better, more problems like this is going to happen. I mean, how long is it going to be until we can finally communicate with each other better? If we're maybe, I don't know. It's just really, really, really annoying to just see these things happen, and then you just see a whole bunch of dingus comments flooding the comments. It's just really annoying. I mean, to those dingus comments out there, just go somewhere else. Nobody wants your dingus over here. No one wants your ass over here. Nobody got time for that. We just all want to have fun and just eventually get our hands on the game. I mean, isn't that what most game developers want? Just to everyone to have a good time. I mean, with all these drama that happens, everyone just seems to lose sight of what's really important, and I think that's what really needs to be clarified. Just to remind everyone that to have a good time, while also just keeping in mind of communication. Though I really enjoy those little Twitter posts that the Ooblets team gives, and those little emails too. I would really like to see more content from them, a little bit more posts, and maybe just ask more questions, because I haven't really been seeing them with polls. They haven't really at least unless they're doing it on their Discord, I haven't really seen them make polls or ask questions to the community directly. I haven't really seen any of that yet, or unless I missed it. But if there's anything like that, you can please let me know and I can go see. But other than that, there just needs to be an improvement in communication overall, as well as to figure out the situation with the Epic Games, because I haven't really heard of it, and I use Steam, so you're gonna have to figure that out. So yeah, that's my take on it. I know I would probably just go on really more of a rant on this, but I don't really want to turn this into a rant. This is really kind of a difficult video for me to make, mainly because of the format I'm trying to go for. I don't really know how I'm supposed to format my videos. I know with some videos people would script what they want to say, like write it down in a script or something, but I don't know. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do, especially since I kind of want to animate this a little bit too. Well, not really. It's not animation. I'll just, put pictures of me and then just switch to a different picture, then to another picture. So, if you guys do know any tips that I need on how to improve my videos, I would really appreciate it, especially since now that I have this new computer with a lot more speed than my old one, I could definitely use some new video editing tips right about now. So if you want to give some feedback or help with that, I would very much appreciate it. But yeah, I think this pretty much wraps everything up. I'm just gonna go now. Just now off to the other side of the... Yeah. Goodbye.